So something that's been on my mind for a few years now is this question: what could be more important than healing the distortion between the masculine and the feminine? Think about that for a moment. What could be more important than healing this wound, this gap, this distortion between, the building blocks of life, the two very important energetic polarities of the masculine and the feminine? Sit with that for a moment. What could be more important than restoring this relationship between these polarities, not just in our partnerships, but in our culture, in our bodies, in our relationship to the earth, to our home, to, in all our systems. Because as I see it, when we look beneath the surface of all the different crises that we face in this time, and how it affects the individual, the burnout, many people are in, exhaustion, the disconnection, the depression, but also externally with the collapse of ecosystems, the violence and the endless striving that everybody seems to find themselves in. If we look at all that, I believe that we find the same fracture, the same deep wound, a deep separation from the feminine, a deep separation from the earth, a deep separation from the body, from our soul. And we find also, a very big distortion of the masculine essence, which has gone from, being the protector to being the controller, from a guide to a dominator, from having, a backbone to being the oppressor. And this separation, the fact that we've forgotten the sacred union between the energies, this separation lives inside each of us. And as we can all see, it very much lives in the world that we've all created, especially men. So I think as long as we ravage the female body, we will continue to ravage the earth. As long as we extract from the feminine her nourishment, her attention, her mystery, we will continue to extract from nature. We will continue to extract from one another, being in competition, and we will, continue to extract from life itself, or trying to at least. And so we've built systems that suppress and control and manage the feminine in all her forms. Emotional, intuitive, cyclical, sensual, all of them. And we've done it in favor of, control and efficiency and domination, and this idea of, the illusion of certainty. And so now, for men especially, we have a responsibility now to begin to build a backbone again. One that doesn't dominate, but holds. One that, helps us to start carry more weight for the feminine. Not to silence her, but to begin to protect what is sacred. And to once again remember our true role, our innate original design, you could say, which is not which is not being the center of it all, but being a necessary and very important half of a greater wholeness. Because I truly believe without this mending, without this reconciliation, without this, harmonizing this distortion again, we will for sure continue on this path of destruction. And I don't bring this, to blame men. It's just about returning to an original blueprint. Because we've tried out the opposite model now for maybe 2,500 years, the path where the masculine has dominated everything. And where we've been taught that independence from each other, from the earth, from creation itself, that is our greatest expression. But look where it got us. So again, what I'm speaking about here is about remembering the original design, where the masculine and the feminine are actually interdependent, co-creators, each filling out a very important role for the other. And in this example, so that women may once again feel safe and feel protected, feel supported, feel free to speak their truth. And for us men, so that we again can remember that this truth is not a threat, but it's actually the very key to our growth, to our purpose, to our becoming, you could say, which so many men are lacking at this moment, just drifting aimlessly and not knowing how to actually be in this world. And for that, the masculine need to grow back this backbone, to start to carry more weight, so, the feminine can finally exhale. And so that together we can get out of all this programming, all this conditioning that we are, running around with in our minds, and return to, life. Stop forcing our own personal will and return to the will of creation. Becoming available to life where it actually is. Trusting that if we lean into that force, life has our back, and there's, purpose and meaning with everything that life then brings us. So if this speaks to you in any way, we now have a 3-month online immersion coming up. We call it Reunion, and it starts early March. And this is our focus. So it's a mentorship for both men and women, for couples, for singles. And there's a few spots left at this moment, and you can find all the info and the links below. And you're so welcome.